although we know they all listen to every single word. It's interesting to see what they gravitate to when they're going through the things, you know. It might start out in a topic that sounds, oh, this is interesting, but halfway through they bolt, you know, because then it starts going into some other question or something, or they pass over a video because the first part of it doesn't sound, oh, this is not what I want to hear, you know, so I'm not even going to listen to it. So they pick and choose through the satsangs as to what they're going to listen to and what they're not. So ego's very selective in what it wants to hear. Okay. This is one of the drawbacks, I think, with having a video audience with that, rather than people coming here. Even though when they come here, they still may tune out some parts of it, but more so when they're just thumbing through and looking for, I just want a specific answer to a specific question, and then I'm good. Then I can do it all on my own. I don't actually need a guru, I just need to be able to hear what a guru says once in a while, and then I'm good to go again for a while. So this is unfortunately the way of ego. No. But the point of the path is to hear what's uncomfortable to hear, not just that which is going to support your ideology or your belief system, or what insights that are starting to emerge. The thing is to cut through, cut through, cut through. So it also takes the left-handed blessings, which are the ones that are not so fun to receive. The velvet hammer, the rug being pulled out, that which is uncomfortable to hear, that which is going to challenge your belief system, not support it. Now most paths where you go, you'll find you gravitate to the one that supports your belief systems, the one that enhances your ego. You'll go to a place where, oh, I can be a vegetarian and look, I'm a wonderful person because I am. Look how holy I am because I'm doing this. It supports your belief system, rather than going to one which is going to challenge that. So really that's what people look for, their level of comfort. But if you're going to walk a spiritual path, and it's not being walked because you want to have a better life, or you want to feel better about yourself, or I want to go out and do for humanity, I want to convince myself I'm a compassionate, loving, giving person. It's easy to find paths where you can convince yourself you're a compassionate, loving, and giving person. It's not so easy to stick with the path where those are not the main focus of learning to be something, adding to your repertoire of what you think you are. It's much more difficult to be on a path where the rug is being pulled out from under you at every turn. Where there's not something to cling to. Where every time you start to get comfortable, Guruji's watching, and then all of a sudden, here's a sticking point. Time to pull that rug out again. Because this is not about developing a bigger, better ego. This is about going beyond ego and finding out what was prior to. Prior to. Just like the new guy that's on this site. Well, I want to, enjoy the world and play in the world while I get to my enlightenment. The me, does not get to enlightenment. The me never gets to enlightenment. In order to get to enlightenment, the me dissolves. The idea of I am this separate entity goes. It's finished. So if you're engaging in the world and wanting to play in the world, how is any of that going to be broken through? I want to grab the golden ring of duality, yet I think I'm going to go to non-duality by doing it. one has to be able to give up the things of the world for a time. It all comes back. It's all enjoyed. Okay? But that can't be your focus of I want to go out and enjoy the world. One has to be more still within, in quietude. Seeing without seeing and hearing without hearing happens for a time because one becomes so internalized. Okay. So this is a totally different thing. People have really mistaken notions about what it is to be in non-duality or what it is for enlightenment. I have a book I'm reading now which will be on the recommended reading list soon. But it's about a guy that's on a Zen path. He's a Zen priest. He's married. And he talks about, I keep getting to moments of satori. But of course it never lasts. Well, why does it not last? Because he's too wrapped up in the world and his marriage and all these other things. So they become glimpses. They become another experience to a persona. Because there's not enough stilling, there's not enough allowing everything fall away for it to remain. For the mind to remain in that nirvikalpa sahaj samadhi, which is without thought, which has very few random thought. So now on this path we have two separate dynamics. For those that are celibate, that are really internalizing, 100% want to go forward to realization and enlightenment, that they're willing to give up the rest of that stuff for a time to be fully internalized until everything could fall away. And then we have the other dynamic, which are engaged in family life, in duality, in their goals, in their aspirations, in their concepts. Okay? Yes, they're progressing. They're making progress. But they're making progress with the world. Not in the world, but not of it. They're in the world. Okay? And it's fine. They're going further, but they will have a much more difficult time to get to realization and to be able to have that absolutely sustained in one pointed non-duality. Okay? So this is why the path has been put into two different dynamics and directions. Okay. We want to see everyone progress. And just because one starts out in the other path with family and this and that, perhaps at a later date, they may fulfill all their family obligations and then be ready at that point to do more inner work, to stay more internalized rather than focused on so much of the externals. Okay, so there's always the opportunity for them at a later date when they filled all their obligations and their mind is no longer running in family and my job and I need to support and I need to do this and I need to do that, that they can at that point go into celibacy and go more into the 100% internal focus.